2.5 short months ago, I didn't think that would be me out there surfing on a river on a stand-up paddleboard. Don't get me wrong, I love stand-up paddleboarding. In fact, I've been teaching it since about 2011, primarily on flatwater venues and even out on Lake Erie. I'm up in Ohio, so we have the Great Lakes up here, and wind and waves are definitely something to consider. But didn't think I'd be out stand-up paddleboarding on a river where there are rapids. That was until recently. Hello, I'm Rachel with Adventurous Heart, and I'm hoping that you are going to be willing to try something new by the end of this video. Back in 2006, I was just getting into whitewater kayaking. I had some friends that would take me, and I always felt a little nervous when I was getting on the river. But I worked up the courage and the skill to be able to go on a Class 3 river, the Youghiogheny River, in Pennsylvania. And it was going great until I got to a rapid called Cucumber, and flipped over, swam, didn't go great. And then I got through the rest of it, and the next day I went to go again, and a bee got trapped inside my spray skirt. I got stung, and I wasn't feeling it. At that point, I kind of was turned away from whitewater and didn't really go back to it until just a few months ago when I had the opportunity to try whitewater stand-up paddleboarding for the first time. Thanks to a bunch of ACA, American Canoe Association instructors, some fellow instructors, they decided to take me out on the James River in Richmond, Virginia. And on that river, I had an amazing experience under their leadership. They took me on it, and you can see what kind of flow it is. I don't have pictures of us actually getting on the river, but you can see some kayakers enjoying it, and you can see that it's a little bony, which means there's not a lot of water, so it's real rocky, but there's good flow, and it was a great experience. I did have to go through quite a bit of it on my knees because it was my first experience, but trust me, no shame in that. I got through those rapids and I was grinning from ear to ear. I was so excited to be back in the whitewater. Again, something that had made me pretty nervous prior to that. But I was back at it and more excited than ever. In fact, during that experience, I was able to demo one of the Bishop boards. And when I got home, I made sure and I ordered this one behind me, the Axetal. And it came in November. Yes, I live in Ohio and it is cold in November this time of year. But that did not stop me and my friend. We quickly grabbed our wetsuit. I have a wetsuit. She has a dry suit, as well as other safety equipment and gear. We got our boards ready. They're inflatable, so we inflated them. We had our life jackets, our helmet, all of our safety equipment. We grabbed our boards and we walked to the newly created Cuyahoga River Water Trail. That's a state designation in Ohio. It's the 13th river that is state designated, and it just happened this past year, so we were excited to get out and explore it. So there's a little section known as Peninsula, Ohio. So we take the Cuyahoga River down, and there's different sections we'll do. And over the last 2.5 months, we've been so excited to get out and explore the cool little opportunities in our backyard. So we've gone out, again, we paddled 7 times in the past 2.5 months, totaling about 11.5 hours. And the water ranges all of the time, everywhere. So we've been watching it, watching the river gauges, and it's gone from about 326 CFS all the way to 2,300. And according to American Whitewater, which is a great gauge to be able to tell what the flow of the rivers are at that particular time, the highest you can run this one is about 5,000 CFS, all the way down to 300. CFS being cubic feet per second. If you're not into whitewater river gauges, this is a bit mumble jumble, but it'll make sense if you decide to get into it. But definitely check the river gauges. So we've been running it at a variety of levels, and as we're running it at different levels, we're figuring out what the river is doing. And it's really exciting, it's cool, it's never boring, because the river is always changing.
Conditions at 1900 CFS under the 271 bridge. Our old play hole is completely washed out, so not an option. We were trying, there's a train in the back. We were trying to surf here, it didn't work very well. Tigers did it yesterday.
And we've even had the opportunity to be immersed in nature, where we've seen bald eagles most times that we have gone out, and that's even being pretty much immersed in the city in and around Cleveland. But definitely a cool experience to get out. And I did say it was November, it's February now, so for the last 2.5 months we've had temperatures ranging from 34 degrees all the way to 54 degrees. Unprecedented this time of year in Ohio, but that huge range. So we paddled in sunny conditions, rain, snow, whatever it is though, we're super excited to be able to get out and paddle. And I have to admit a little bit, when I've started to look at the gauges and the weather, and I was like, oh, let's go. And when I hear that it's raining outside, I'm excited. In the past, I was like, oh no, it's raining, but I'm still gonna do something outside. But now I'm excited because that means the river's up and we can go paddle. In fact, I've gotten a little giddy with excitement about whitewater stand-up paddleboarding. And back when I was doing the whitewater kayaking, my friends would get all excited and giddy, like, yes, I can't wait, and I didn't really get it. But now, 14 years later, I totally get it. I'm giddy with excitement. I want to get out whenever I possibly can. So my friend and I, we get out, we paddle, and discover the secrets that are in our backyard. And you can see here, this is our little surfing hole. In this area, it's known as the 271 Bridge, and there's a little surf hole wave train in this area. And as we've been discovering this river at different levels, and it's always changing, we've really discovered the 3 shelves that you can kind of see here as we're surfing. So at high river levels, you're going to run the higher shelf, at mid, the middle shelf, and at low levels, the lower shelf. And you can kind of see the different dynamics. And as we're getting in, you'll see sometimes it doesn't really go that well. We'll try to get in and we'll mess up and we'll have to start again. And there's no worries about that. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And eventually you're gonna nail it and you're gonna get on that wave. And no matter how big or small that wave is, you feel like you are on top of the world. So I encourage you, everyone, whatever your activity is, get out and try it. Of course, I encourage you to try SUPthing new, but if it's not your thing, I totally understand. Just go discover all of the secrets in your backyard and find a new adventure today. I'm Nagle with Adventurous Heart, and I hope to see you out on the river.